Tracy, hi.
Hi. I am not camera ready, but I saw that Chris wasn't going to be able to make it, so I said, okay, let me hang out with Phil for a minute.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. So how are you?
I'm fine. Yourself?
I'm good. I'm blessed. That's for sure. That's for sure. Yeah, I don't know what happened to our man Chris, so we'll call this a bust. But anyway.
Yeah. I was like, oh, Chris is going to be on. Let me get on. And then I was like, where's Chris?
Yeah. Yeah, I have no idea. Did not get a reply or anything like that. And
Aw.
so we'll just roll with it. So what how are you handling the COVID situation wherever you are?
I'm in Jersey,
Okay.
and I work in the medical field.
Okay, what do you do?
I am a medical receptionist.
Okay.
So for a primary care office. So
Okay.
luckily, we're not seeing patients. What we're doing is telemedicine.
Yeah.
So I have to go into the office with my coworkers.
Oh,
But
wow.
we're kind of like separated. We have to wear the masks. We have to, nobody gets in the office unless they work there. And we take telephone calls and set up meetings like such as this with the Zoom app.
Yeah.
And so that's how our patients are getting seen.
Wow, that's crazy.
Uh,
How like that? Are you in like a? I mean, I get New Jersey's not really that big, so there's not a whole lot of areas that aren't compacted with people. So, is it something where it's not even you don't feel good about going down the street? I mean, I hear like things are so much worse up there, but up here, I mean, here where we are in Oklahoma City, like everybody's still out, like doing their movement, and you see them stuff. Everybody wears, most people wear the mask, and you're still seeing the distancing. But like we're so spread out. I mean, Oklahoma City is like 650 square miles, so it's just
right,
massively huge.
right.
You know?
No, we're kind of on top of each other where I am in North Jersey. I mean, everybody who's out has a mask on. Everybody who's
Yeah.
out has gloves on. We have lines to go food shopping. Like they can only let 150 people, if I'm not mistaken, in the store at
Mm,
one time. So for us to go food shopping, it's like we have to wait online and they have a clicker. And
yeah.
once you get to that capacity, you can't go in. And
Yeah.
then once they come out, then they let the next person in. It's insane. It's like a whole weird way of life.
Yeah.
It's very impacting. It's impacting everyone,
Yeah.
and here in Jersey, we have a high rate. We are a hot spot.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's crazy that like New York area and New Jersey area is like really just so inundated with it. And I understand it's, population proximity has probably a big factor in that,
yeah.
especially those first few weeks when it was like so many people really didn't understand and like a lack of communication. Like if something like this were to start again, everybody should have a real good concept of what it takes. To actually slow this and shut it down. Whereas if we were as smart as we were right now,
Right.
in February the 15th, we probably could have already cleared this thing up. And
Right.
that's weird to say, but it's probably true.
It is true. And
Yeah.
it changes daily. Like every day, there's something new that we have to, there's a new symptom. Like, so when
Mhm.
patients call, we have to ask, do you have a runny nose? Do you have a fever? Do you have loss
Yeah.
of taste of smell? I mean, it's like on and on and on. And so every day it changes, but
Yeah.
we're doing the best we can, and
Yeah.
like I said, it's just, I mean, for everybody, no matter whether you're in New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, where you are, I mean, it's just impacted everyone's lives.
That's
So,
crazy. It's crazy.
yeah.
So you want to talk a little WW?
Yeah, of course. That's why I'm
All right.
on. Yeah,
Well,
that's it.
tell me how you guys started doing WW.
So, I had done WW a while back and I had gotten to Lifetime, lost 155 pounds.
Yeah.
And then life got in the way. I had developed arthritis in both my hips
Mm.
and wasn't able to move. Nothing. So I ate my feelings, like most people. I think a lot of people who are on WW can relate to that. They eat their
Yeah.
feelings. And so because of that, I just kept eating and eating, not moving, and gained everything plus back.
Did you say
Um,
150 or 120?
100, I had lost 155. Now, today, I've lost 126.
Okay.
But I had lost the 155, gained it all back plus. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't do anything small, Phil. Nothing
Yeah.
small.
Yeah.
Yeah. So so then I had to have two hip replacements.
Mm.
And my surgeon said, I will not replace your hips until you lose, first it was 30 pounds. So I was like, okay, so I got to lose 30 pounds. So I did. I lost 30 pounds and got that hip replaced and put that 30 pounds back on. So come the second hip had to be replaced, he's like, you got to lose 60 pounds. And he wanted me to have gastric bypass surgery.
Mm.
And I started the process. But then as I went to the class, you know, where it teaches you how to eat and everything and how I'd have to eat for the rest of my life, I'm like, I can't eat like this for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
I said, you know, WW worked for me before. I'm going to give it another shot.
Yeah,
You
totally.
know, and it, you know, it may not have been the quick fix that my surgeon was looking for because he was looking for me to lose weight quickly and get the surgery. And so it took a year before I could get the surgery done, almost a year.
Mm.
And then I got the surgery done and continued to lose weight. He's so impressed with my weight loss, my surgeon. He's like, oh my God. And he can't believe, he's like, I can't believe it's not, you know,
Yeah.
surgery. You didn't have gastric sleeve or bypass. And I'm like, you know, I'm taking my time. I'm not there yet. I still have 22
Yeah.
pounds to get to lifetime.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm down 126, so we'll take that and run with
Yeah.
it. Well,
Absolutely.
mediocre trot. I don't run. I don't
Yeah.
run. I'm not a
Yeah.
runner. But yeah.
So you have had both the hips now? They're already done?
Yeah, both hips are done. One hip is 3 years old. The other hip is gonna be a year old.
Yeah. So is
Yeah.
your movement good? You can move good?
Movement is good. There are days that it's not so good. And
Mm.
there are certain things I still can't do. Like I do Katie's yoga, but I do
Yeah.
her chair yoga series because getting down on the floor for me to do certain yoga moves and stuff like that, it's still hard to do.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I can do pretty much, I can do anything really.
Yeah. Did you do one of my little workouts?
Yes, I did your
Yeah.
workout too because I had taken a couple of days off. I had my father had passed. And so I had taken some time off and I wanted to get back into something. I saw your workout and I'm like, I'm doing that. And that
Yeah.
literally, you just literally jump started me back into doing my routine. So
Oh,
thank
there
you.
you go. I love it. That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. So what years and time frame did you lose the first 150 something?
When I lost 155, I was also a lot younger.
Yeah.
Some of us have, you know, aged. But yeah, I mean, I was a lot younger. And I think when you're
Yeah.
younger, you have a little easier time losing the weight. I just think your body and metabolism's
Yeah.
a little easier. But that took me a year. I think it took me a
Hmm.
year. And that was the old points plus system
Hmm.
that WW had when it was Weight Watchers. It was the old points plus system. And yeah, I think it took me about a year. And I lost
Wow.
155. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. Well, I mean, like that had to be like what's the difference in cause you to like gain it back? Was it just the absence of mindset?
You know, for me, I always say this is what happened. I felt like I graduated.
Okay.
Okay. So I hit lifetime and
Hmm.
I still continued to go to meetings. I had a fantastic leader at the time. And she was amazing. And I went to the meetings and slowly there was like a pound would creep up or two. And then I'd take it off because you had to be within a certain range. And, then I stopped going regularly and then like, oh, I know how to do this. Oh, it's okay. I'll track tomorrow. Oh, I know what I'm doing. And I felt like I graduated. I felt like I knew it all, and I just kind of let it go by the wayside.
Yeah.
And you know, you don't know it all,
No.
and you do need the support, and that's something I didn't think I needed.
Yeah.
And I just, you know, and it started to come back, and I started to gain, and then the arthritis, and then the hips, and then
Yeah.
yeah, so yeah, and so it just, I literally just ate and ate and ate and couldn't move.
Yeah.
And when I got my hips, both hips back, I was like, okay, what can I do first? What
Yeah.
exercise can I do first? Because I couldn't stand it, you know.
Yeah.
So you know, and that's just, you think you know it all, you don't.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
don't.
I think you would be a perfect candidate right now to do a WW Smile. Like I just posted that challenge
I
giveaway that I'm doing.
can't, I
Because
can't hold the bag. I tried.
hey,
We went, my daughter and I went, and I got 2 bags of dog foods. That was 50 pounds each, right? It was 100 pounds.
yeah,
I fell over. I couldn't
hey,
hold them.
it doesn't, you don't have to hold it. That is not a rule. Like a lot of
Okay.
people do, and I do when I do mine. But like there's so many, like the thing is I want people to like go look at the hashtag and see the creativity that people have found. Like I've seen stacks of potatoes, and I've seen people
Okay.
standing next to someone who weighs that amount. Like find a 126-pound person and be like, I've lost this. Maybe have them
This.
hop on your
Yeah.
back, as like a piggyback ride or whatever, like that would be easy to find. You
Okay.
can surely find a 126-pound person, but it's all about telling the story in the aspect of this is what I want to know as we dig deeper on you is where was that stopgap moment, which is what I believe a WW smile is this that line in the sand that says, I will not go back because I've lost this. I don't want to gain that and put that back on me. So you recognize within yourself that somewhere you had lost 155, and that's even greater than you've lost now. But how did you let go of the mindset that let you slide all the way back? Now, I understand gaining like 10 or something like that, or 5. Like that's just kind of natural in life, but where do you install that thing? That thing is the thing that I want people to grasp that allows you to say no more, right? So what do you think is different for you now?
What's different for me this time is the fact that I became so incapacitated.
Yeah.
The fact that at the end of everything, like at the end before I lost all the weight and was able to do the surgery, I literally was dragging my leg to walk.
Yeah.
And I think for me, I got to acknowledge Katie, my chair
I
yoga.
saw Katie hop in.
She said my chair yoga master.
Hey, that's right.
But yeah,
she's my ad that I'm doing for my first 10 podcasts.
I know. I saw that. Yeah, she's gonna be your yoga ad. She's the ad for her yoga. I love that.
Yeah.
But anyway, this time I think for me is I don't want to go back to not being able to move.
Yeah.
I mean, my family had to do everything for me. My husband had to do everything. My daughter had to do everything. I mean, they still do a lot for me, but I mean, they had to do like everything.
Yeah.
There was times, not to, I literally would be sitting on the toilet and they would sometimes have to come lift me up.
Yeah.
Because at 322 pounds and no hips,
yeah,
you're not doing it. And I think that's the line in the sand for me. I'm not going back. I can't go back.
Yeah. Well, now I think with the things that you're doing as far as getting your activity done too, even recognizing that pain inside a joint is there, and likely even post-surgery, that pain inside the joint is always going to be there.
Yeah.
The actual getting to move is like those big twitch muscles in our thighs and our quads that have to ignite to get us to jump up and like do a squat. Like those take time to get those to recome because they will digress and digress. So that's why doing those squats and working on that chair will always be good to keep those muscles strong so that you can actually launch up out of a chair without having to do the whole push up.
Yeah, it's true. There's still some movement I can't do with the new hip, with the one I had recently. Like I can't, if I'm sitting in a chair, like I can't lift it up all the way. So, there's a lot of things that I can't do. That's why the chair yoga is so beneficial for me because it literally lets me be able to do the yoga movements, do the yoga stretching, and still be safe. You won't. No, I won't. Vegans and Weight Watchers. Yes, no, girl, I won't go back. Thank
That's
you.
Right. That's right. So, how do you handle like your food changes? What was your food like during that time frame while you were like gaining all that weight? What did you change in your food over the last year or so?
Well, it was a lot of ordered out food.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, fast food is it's my downfall big time. So, we ordered out a lot and we ate a lot of like junky food and chips. If I eat one chip, I eat the whole bag. I am not ten, I don't know how I do it now, but I will measure it out if I do have some.
Yeah.
Like if I have some chips, I will, like if the serving size is 23 or 2 or whatever it is, I'll measure it out. But for the most part, if you put the bag in front of me, it's gone.
Yeah.
And that's what it was. It was chips and it was fast food and it was all that stuff. So I had to stop. I had to stop doing all of that stuff. And now, I have a big, I don't know if you've ever seen it. I have this big board on my refrigerator where I plan out what I'm going to eat all week long. Even my daughter's like, you said you're having this today. Like if I change something up instead, she's like, that's not on the board.
That's right.
But
Hold you accountable.
Yeah, we live and die by the board. But you just have to change everything. I eat a lot more fruit now, a lot more fruit than I ever did before. I'm still not good at my veg though. Vegetables, like, I'm still working on getting that better. But I mean, fruit is my thing. Protein is my thing, big time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. I love. Doc, have you learned to like cook some like WW ways and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, like tonight, we had, well, it was leftover because we made it the night before, but we had the 0 point chili.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've ever had with the turkey chop meat and the
Uh-huh.
kidney beans. Yeah, that's a staple here. The Felicia combo is my Friday night dinner.
Yeah.
The Felicia combo with the cottage cheese and the two eggs and the hash, the potatoes that is my Friday night before weigh-in dinner every
Oh,
Friday.
there you go. There you go. So you weigh in on Saturdays?
I weigh in on Saturday, yes.
Oh, okay. There you
Yeah.
go. There you go. So, do you, um, uh, so when you plan your whole week, like you put it on the board and you're pretty good at sticking to it?
I am. I am. Occasionally, it's dinners that get screwed up mostly.
Okay.
Breakfast and lunch were a go because I make all my lunches for the week for work.
Yeah.
And breakfast, I'm good with breakfast. I stay with it. If I write my snacks down, I pre-track though. I pre-track before I go to bed
Yeah.
every night. I don't miss. I think I missed maybe like 10 times in the 2 years I've been back on WW. I think
Yeah.
I've missed maybe 10 times of a pre-track. That's about it. Um, I pre-track every night and I'm good at it. Occasionally dinner will get messed up. Be like, okay,
Mm.
I just got home from work. I'm exhausted. My husband's exhausted. Neither one of us, we'll just make a sandwich instead of doing what's on the board or whatever.
Yeah.
Something like that. What we won't do is we won't do fast food, especially during the week.
Yeah.
Um, I will save something like that for the weekend, like Chinese food maybe on a Saturday we'll do, or, go out to eat on a Saturday. But that's rare and occasional as well.
Yeah.
And especially now, we're trying to support our local businesses. We have a lot of local restaurants here where I live, so we've done pizza a couple times and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But you know, that's what it is. You have to change. You just have to change.
Now, what plan are you currently doing?
Blue.
Blue? Have you just stick with blue, or you tried the other ones yet?
The only one I tried was green
Okay.
because purple scared me.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't know. Yeah, I was for me. I have to have. I don't know. For me, I have to have I'm very regimented.
Uh-huh.
And so I had to have, okay, this is points and I don't know, like anything that you tell me, you can eat this as much as you want of this until you're full. Yeah, I can't. So I tried green. I went back to blue only because I missed my 0 point eggs.
Mm.
I am a
Okay.
hard-boiled eggs are my staple.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm going back to blue. And it worked for me. It
Yeah.
worked for me. So I was like, I tried green, but it wasn't 1,000. I like the 31 points a day, though.
Yeah.
I did like that, and then going back to 23 a day. 23 a day is rough. I'm finding it a
Yeah.
little hard. I am finding myself dip into like 3 or 4 weeklies during the week, during the day, each
Yeah.
day. But, I'm just
So
trying
so
it there.
so you know that you kind of feel better about 25, 26.
I do.
Yeah.
25, 26, I'm great.
Yeah.
I'm great. 23, I'm like, I'm still hungry,
Yeah.
but 25, 26, I'm awesome.
Yeah.
So
That's it's
maintenance might be okay.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's so interesting, and I love that WW came out with my WW and has the plans for people that are different in the way they approach it. It's all, you start everyone starts their day with all their points, and everyone ends their day with some zero or negative, or maybe a few rollovers or something like that. So it's just how you get there,
Yeah.
and it's your path, it's your journey, and I love that. For me, man, I've done them all. I've done them all for at least 5 weeks, and I went back to blue for a long period of time, and then I switched to purple about 2 or 3 weeks ago.
And how are you
And
feeling on the purple? That's.
like for me, the number that I see on purple makes me be very intentional.
Hmm.
If I go to blue, I don't have to be very intentional. And what happens is you start making those decisions with yourself,
Hmm.
and uh, I want to eat this. I want to make this work, and start doing that. So you start doing that,
Yeah.
and then you start pushing into, well, the number that I have for blue plus the 8 that you can get and still keep your blue dot. Because I always want to keep my blue dot. That number, when I think about it, feels like it's too much food.
Okay.
It's one of those things that I kind of know my body and
Hmm.
I know how I feel. And when I line all that food out, it seems like it's too much.
Right.
Don't feel like I could lose. When I do the same thing on purple,
Hmm.
I've been very intentional, and I can use up to 5, 6, 7 of my rollovers and still try to get my blue dot. That number is where I feel good.
Right.
So I'm like, I think I just need to switch to purple. And since I've switched back to purple, I've lost a little bit more than I was losing. I don't weigh in. I do put a number in the scale to get my wellness wins, but I don't call anything an official weigh-in unless it happens on the official WW scale.
Got it.
That's just my thing that I've always done. And I try my best to make sure that when I do actually weigh on the WW scale, that it is a down.
Hmm.
So, and by that, that's my own little criteria. I don't want to weigh if it's going to be up. So,
Right.
and it's not like I'm going to go 6 months and not weigh because I'm up. So that keeps me like hyperly engaged in doing it. So because if I know that I'm going to weigh next Tuesday, I need to work the plan really really good this week, or I won't, and that kind of thing. So it's kind of a game that I play with myself,
Hmm.
but it works, and
Yeah.
I've been doing it for 2.5 years, and the proof that I know that my plan works and it only works for me, I would never push this off on anyone else, is the fact that in all of my official WW weigh-ins, I've had like 13 times when I had a gain. So put those 13 down. I have never had the next weigh-in be another up. I've always been a down at a
Right.
greater amount than the previous gain
Right.
every time. So that's my thing, is like I'm basically limiting myself to one gain. Any one
Hmm.
gain is fine, but I'm
Right.
always going to get right back on track after that one gain.
Yep. I do
And
the same. I do the
yeah,
same.
it's just my own little personal thing, and I
Hmm.
think that allows me to see that anything is possible with how I eat. And what I mean by that is I can go, and when I went down to WW, the Oprah meetup, and I had all the ambassadors, it was a great day. And I ate a lot of food, and I didn't regret any of it. It was a lot of pizza and that kind of stuff. And I just know that I ate too much and I did not get a blue dot. That's fine. And then the next day was a very more calm day. We had a real small Panera bread lunch at the actual event. I had a small
Right.
breakfast and then a little bit larger dinner, but it was still within points. And then every day been back on track and that kind of stuff since. But I know that I've set that tempo in my mind of how I think about it, that now I can go into Thanksgiving and just go willy-nilly crazy if I want. I can always still stay on track if I want. But
Right.
I don't have to say that, oh my gosh, I screwed up because I ate wrong.
Hmm.
No, I can choose that, and I know how to get back on track. It is kind of a pattern and a healthy habit that I've built into my life, and
Yeah.
that's what I would encourage other people to do. How have you done some of that for yourself? You speak about.
Yeah. For myself, like Saturday, for a while, I was doing no track Saturday. That
Hmm.
doesn't work for me anymore.
Yeah,
Um, I'm not losing like I was. I'm been playing with these same 5 pounds. I'm up two, I'm down one, I'm up two, I'm
yeah,
down one. And so now I'm tracking on Saturday, but I am allowing myself to go into more of my weeklies,
yeah,
on Saturday. And then right back to plan on Sunday. Um, if there's a planned day off, if there's a holiday or there's a party or something, and I know there's going to be things that I want there, then I'm going to plan to have that day off. I'll eat a lighter breakfast, I'll eat a lighter lunch, and go to the party or do whatever. But I'm the same as you. If I had like a big, if I had a big event and I ate a little more than I normally do, I am right back on it the next day, week, month, year, whatever it is. So another event might happen. It's
yeah,
it's because, and if I see a gain on the scale, I'm a maniac. I am an
yeah.
absolute maniac. I'm like, okay, I have a gain on the scale. I got to get rid of it. I got to get rid of it.
Mhm.
So I'm the same way. Okay, well, what can I do to make sure of that? Well, I didn't drink enough water. I can see it right here, and especially now that it's on the app now.
Yeah.
Yeah, the water. I'm definitely,
Hey
increasing.
Google, stop.
Google wants to get on. So,
Yeah, I know.
so yeah, so that's basically what I do. I'm pretty much the same, like you said. I do pretty much the
Yeah.
same thing. Hmm.
Yeah. So I'm kind of curious. So I want to find out more of how you are handling the chip thing, because I'm a chip connoisseur as well. And I kind of would think that I've kind of accomplished some level of control of that. Definitely salty kind of treats like that. Chips of all type really have always been like something that I just loved. And I know that I was overeating them
Hmm.
regularly,
Hmm.
because even if a single bowl wasn't the
Hmm.
overeating part, it was the multiple times a day or multiple venues and that kind of stuff.
Right.
So those were my thing. I think I probably went through a period of time where I really reeled that back. And there was a long period, not a long period of time, but a period of time where basically the only um, salty kind of chips, and what I mean by that is I ate a lot of sandwiches and then chips. So like it's like those two go together. So
Yeah.
for lunch, you eat a sandwich and chips.
And a pickle.
So
Don't forget the
yeah,
pickle.
and the sauce cucumber. So I did that for a long period of time.
Hmm.
Instead of having any chips, Doritos or Pringles or whatever, I eliminated those. But I ate these little things that you get at Aldi. They're little mini pretzels, and I think 13 of them is like 3 points or something like that. So I would get those, and I
Hmm.
would eat those, and I would eat them, and I would this big container, and it kind of accomplished the goal of me just breaking the habit of having to have that. So now I kind of understand how my mentality works. It's not how
Right.
my body works. My body
Right.
doesn't really care whether or not I eat chips. It's all about telling my mind that
Hmm.
kind of thing. So I got it under control. So now I do eat chips. A lot of times I eat either Wavy Lays, or we get these reduced fat cheese puffs from Trader Joe's, and like 30 of those cheese puffs is just 3 Smart Points.
Hmm.
And like 30 chips laying out there is a big old pile. And
Yeah.
I'm now able to like tell myself that is enough, as opposed to like just dumping the bag over and stopping when you think it's enough.
Right.
So how do you feel like what are your steps to get to the point where you can reintegrate being able to control chips or any other food, you know?
Well, for me, I had to go to individual bags.
Yeah.
Um, Popcorners
Hmm.
as it's 4 points per bag. So if I'm gonna have them, that's what I'm gonna have. Or
Yeah.
I pre-portion them on Sunday into baggies.
Oh, there you
Like
go.
yeah, like if I have like bite-size Tostitos, the bite-size tortilla chips,
Yeah.
if I have those and it's like I think it's 14 for 4 points, I think it is. I'll put 14 in a baggie, seal it up,
Yeah.
and I have them. We have snack containers in my house.
Yeah.
Um, Mine, my daughter's, and my husband's. And so, I'll put them in the snack container, and when I'm ready to take a snack out to take it to work or whatever, I take it with me to work.
Yeah.
So I guess basically pre-portioned and already portioned out bags.
Yeah.
But this week I tried something different with my sandwich. The round carrots, they're called
Hmm.
coin carrots.
Yeah, I've heard of.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. I was like, let me fake myself out like I'm having chips with my sandwich and use
Yeah.
those. And it worked out. It really did.
Yeah.
So, that there's something that's,
And you
uh,
got your veggies.
I know, which I don't get. So, and they're good in hummus.
Ooh, yes.
They
Now,
are good
hummus
in
is
hummus.
good almost with anything. Like
Yeah,
you
you could
can
put
dip
hummus,
it with your finger.
exactly. You could put hummus on a shoe and eat it. So, yeah.
Have you ever had chocolate hummus?
No, that I didn't try yet. I'll have to
It's
try that.
good. I don't like spending the points on it. I'm not really a sweet person,
Hmm.
which to me seems weird. Like I love a good piece of chocolate cake,
Hmm.
but like if you tell me fresh hot sliced bread or chocolate cake, I'll choose the bread every
Yep,
time.
I'll
Uh,
choose it every time. Hmm.
yeah, and
Yeah.
like we have, my wife is addicted, and it's probably not an unfair assessment of using that word, and she's probably watching, but to these chocolate peanut butter cups from Trader Joe's. And like evidently, I've had one of them. Maybe I've had two, and we've had like 3 or 4 boxes of them go through recently. It's like this is the pandemic, keep my mind straight kind of food,
Hmm.
and so it's not a temptation for me. And they're just sitting in there big time. Um, so what is your like biggest temptation food? Like what do you have to make sure you watch yourself?
Honestly, popcorn.
Popcorn. So don't go purple, right?
No, yeah, no, that's why. Um, if popcorn is available, I can't stop at 3 cups. I have to eat the whole bag.
Yeah.
I have to eat the whole bag. If we go to the movies, I can't get, I tried to do the kiddie size one and I found
Mhm.
myself going to get, so I just know it.
Yeah.
So either I have to avoid it completely, or if it's in my house or we have it, or I impulsively bought it while we were at the store. I always buy the light though. I do buy the
Yeah.
light popcorn. Um, but I have to eat the
Yeah.
entire bag of the microwave popcorn. So that's a red light trigger food for me.
Have you ever
Like,
popped your popcorn? Like just popped your own?
no, well, I had a machine and the darn thing broke, and I want to
Yeah.
get the one that Weight Watchers had, WW has, so I
Microwave?
can put it in the microwave. Yeah, I want to get my own because
Yeah.
that would save me, I think, big time.
Absolutely. And like, I mean, it really depends on like how you take it. Now it's like coffee. Like if you take your coffee black, then you're good. Go. But if you
Yeah,
have to have all this cream and sugar in it, then you're gonna have to make some modifications and that kind of thing. So
that was a
like
yeah,
I'm
that
just
was
a
a
little bit of
huge,
oil on the bottom popcorn
yeah,
and then just a little bit of salt. That's all I do. So I don't have to count it as very much. I do eat a big quantity, but I typically sometimes lately I'll have popcorn 2 times a week. Most of the time, I always do it on Tuesday night after I have my Tuesday weigh-in. It's almost like a reward or just a refresher to know that,
yeah,
hey, I'm still doing this thing.
hmm
I know that this is probably more than I should eat, but I'm not trying to accomplish the goal of moderating myself in every moment of my life.
right.
I want to have some areas where it can get a little more broad, and then I want to have a lot of areas where I'm very intentional. So where do you feel like in your life, and it doesn't have to necessarily be about food, but you say where you give yourself that grace to be just not as perfect, because I feel like if we always try to be perfect in every way, we're just setting ourselves up for a failure when perfection cannot come.
Yeah. I mean, I'm one of those A-type personalities too. I'm
Yeah,
all or nothing. So for me, I just think that for me to be a little more lax on Saturdays, I think that's
yeah,
my grace. That gives me the grace.
mm,
I had a lot go on recently with the pandemic. It was a lot with work, and then my father had recently passed.
mm,
So with that, I gave myself a week's grace too. I didn't work out. I think I skipped like 4 days, and I don't. I work out every day but Saturday.
yeah,
So I gave myself 4 days grace on that, and I was up 2 pounds because I didn't really pay attention to what was going in my mouth.
mm,
Um, but things like that, like I think Saturday is my grace. I think that's what
yeah,
gives me grace. I think it's the end of the week. It's the day, I don't have to go to work. It's the day I don't have to do this. And so, if I want to go eat this or go to this restaurant or go do that, I'm going to go do that.
yeah,
Um, Monday through Friday, though, I don't deter. I don't,
yeah,
anybody, you can ask anybody, the girls at work are like, oh my God, I can't believe how disciplined you are. And and for me, I have to be because if I'm not disciplined like
mhm.
that, like Monday through Friday, like disciplined and then back on Sunday, I think I would be back in the same boat I was in. So,
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely. I can see how it would happen. So, what do you feel like for you was like your maybe some, if not just one or whatever, but some of the mindset things that changed that allow you to know that you can do it? Like, is there a component of you that has changed how you view yourself or your self-worth or that kind of thing? Because clearly someone who lets themselves go and gain that weight, there has to be some sort of issue, like in the aspect of being overweight is a
mhm,
symptom of something.
right.
So what do you feel like your personal growth has been in since doing WW? Like how you feel about yourself and what it means to be on social media and telling your story and all that.
Yeah, yeah. I think, well, at first my daughter had said something to me and she was like, "Oh, there's people on Instagram." I really wasn't on Instagram much. And
Yeah,
she was like, "Oh, there's people on Instagram, and they share their stories, why don't you try doing that this time?
yeah,
With this journey."
yeah,
Well, okay. I was like,
yeah,
nobody's gonna want to hear what I have to say.
yeah,
But it turned out the community was amazing. I mean,
yeah.
just amazing. And then because I was working a lot of Saturdays, I gave up going to meetings and went
Mhm.
digital strictly, which my plan was to go back to meetings in April.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm hoping to, once the studios reopen, hoping
Yeah.
to get back. But so, going online and sharing my journey and then seeing, and meeting people like yourself and
Yeah.
like, you know them by name, and, like, meeting people like Phil and like
Yeah.
Katie and,
Yeah.
literally though, we share the same struggles. We share the same habits.
Mm.
I
Yeah.
personally think. And, for me to discuss it with everybody and see everybody's journey going,
Yeah.
like somebody comes on and says, yeah, I'm on that struggle bus. And I'm like, oh, good. It's
Yeah.
not just me,
Yeah. Yeah.
or, somebody coming on and say, hey, I had a great week. I did this, 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 and this. And you're
Yeah.
like, maybe I should try doing this, this, and this. And then maybe that'll help me too.
Yeah.
Um, I think
Yeah. I mean, go ahead.
Instagram has been, really what's kept me going for the last 2 years.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's so key. It's so key to be able to have that moment where you reconnect with why you come
Hmm.
and why you're here. Your purpose is to be healthy and to be a productive person in this life so that you can give your life to all the ones that you love and the ones that you can impact. Your circle may be small or your circle on Instagram may grow large. Either
Right.
way, you're still just pouring into people from the blessing that whatever you have poured into yourself and understanding that you can do that. It's not selfish. And as you do that, you become a better person. A better person will continually give back. You start that cycle of good, and as we do that and reclaim like our connected self, WW just empowers us to live this life and make the changes that we need to make. I think a lot of us think that, well, I need to do this, 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 and change these things in my life.
Right,
But we
right.
don't attach it to our purpose in life and our connection to a greater cause, and that our bodies are intended for a purpose and we were created for a reason.
Hmm.
So I think when we do that, life starts to really line up. And I feel like it really has for me. So the Instagram community, specifically, as well as other social medias and that kind of stuff, is really, really strong. But I think there's a super component for that moment when you feel that you are loved. That is a great moment when you see it as well. It can be equally as strong on here. And I just want to say that I feel empowered by the people that are on here, people like you that share your story. The fact that you did my video and that kind of stuff and that kind of thing, it's just empowering to say that that moment that I chose to be obedient led to someone else's obedience, and now
Right.
they are a little bit healthier, and they're not alone. They know that I can always go back and watch Phil's video or whatever, like those simple little examples. But I feel like it's so strong in us being able to connect with that and connect with someone, because someone that is connected like that, surely the temptation to make a poor decision is now overwhelmed by the feeling of knowing that I'm
Right.
cared for, I'm loved, I'm provided for, and all those things
Yep.
that start to snowball into a healthier mindset. So how do you feel like your self-talk healthy mindset has grown over the last like 18 months?
It's self-talk is really important. I'm a big component of that because, I'll say
Yeah.
to myself, okay, do you really want to do this? Do you really want to go
Mhm.
backwards? Do you
Yeah.
really want to gain, all this weight, weight back? I mean, is it really worth it? Is that really worth it? Is this piece of cake really worth it? Do you
Yeah.
really want to continue down that path and go backwards? And for me, the answer is no. I mean, if anybody who knew me, like my family knows, but I mean, anybody who knew me before, they say to me, I can't believe you. I walked with a cane. I almost
Yeah.
walked with two canes.
Yeah.
So I never want to have to do that again. Never.
Yeah.
I mean, with the arthritis, who knows? Who knows what I would end up with? But for now, I'm going to do everything I can
Yeah.
not to end up that way.
Yeah.
You know, for me, it's all about health. It really is. My why is about my health. Um, and it has been from the day I walked back through the doors.
Yeah.
I walked in those doors and she's like, well, why are you here? I said, my health. I have to
Yeah.
lose weight so I can walk and move. And,
Yeah.
so now when I do things like Zumba, I'm amazed. And I'm started to go back to my martial arts training. So I'm amazed by that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I
Yeah.
mean, I'm actually starting to do the things that I enjoyed doing before. you
Yeah,
know. So, and
absolutely.
that's huge. That for me is just huge. So,
That's right. And soon you'll take a picture with somebody who weighs 126 pounds and you'll be like,
okay,
oh,
I'm gonna look for
that.
somebody who weighs 126 so I can put it up and I'm be like, Phil told me I have to take a picture with you.
That's
Thanks.
right. That's right.
Yeah.
Hey, there's a prize going on between now and my birthday, and you could win, and it's good. It's like a WW scale and a cookbook and all kinds of snacks, and Heat
Okay.
Bar is sending more snacks. So
I'm putting out an ad. Okay. I'm
there
gonna
you
take
go.
out an ad. If you
Yeah.
weigh 126, come and see me.
I love it. I love it. Well, I'm going to shut this thing down, and I
Okay.
appreciate you so much. It normally cuts off, but I always give everybody who comes on with me, and you totally filled the gap. So I
Glad to
appreciate you
do
so
it.
much.
Yes.
Thanks for being here. It's just amazing. I love doing these, and obviously, there's when you go live, there's hiccups, and it doesn't always work out. But being flexible and the fact that you came on with me, that's amazing, and I appreciate you so much. But I always end with you having the moment to ask me any questions. So if you want to ask Phil any questions, you can turn it around and go the other way, and I'll try to answer your question best I can.
Well, for me, I want to know for you, what
Okay.
keeps you so dedicated to your journey? I mean, what
Mm,
keeps you WW dedicated? That's my question. What keeps you
yeah.
from not going, okay, well, I've done WW, now I'm going to do Noom, or now I'm going
Yeah.
to do this. Or, what keeps Phil grounded to WW? That's what I want to know.
Oh man, I think it was established a long time ago in the aspect of those first like 16 weeks that I did it, that I really looked back and I saw what I actually did, and I realized that I can lose weight, and that is kind of all that I had to do to lose weight.
Right.
So I learned some healthy habits and made some changes like that. So then we'll just continue on that, and obviously that I did not lose. I don't continue to lose weight at that rate. So there's some drop off in that, but the weight has continued to steadily grow off. But it was after that when I started adding in the true other two components of WW. I waited a full year before I started doing activity, and then since then I've fallen in love with the gym and being active and moving and
Right.
that kind of stuff, and not forcing myself to do hardly any of that. Just actually integrating the things that bring me joy. And then shortly after the 16 weeks that I started really assessing and thinking and doing that kind of stuff and figuring out if I needed to make changes. And there was a period of time where I put everything in my life up for debate to say, I'm doing this. Why am I doing that?
Hmm.
Should I continue doing that and make that thrive? Or should I desist doing that and make a change? So I just really thought about every habit that I did, and I did it all the way down to my route that I take on certain trips. Like if my old habit was every time you go here on every day of the week, you stop here and you get a drink and a snack, well, let's go a different way and let's not do that. So
Right.
I just made some changes like that, and all that's mindset. So that's just creating a path for you to navigate through mentally. And I'll often say that one of the most successful things that has allowed me is to be able to define that moment between regret and shame. If I do this, if I walk away from this engagement or whatever it is, this when I'm talking to a person or if I'm talking to myself, if I walk away with shame, then I'm not doing it right. Let's see if we can do it a different way. If I go through this interaction and I walk away with regret, I didn't fully engage, or it was food and I chose not to eat it, but I really wanted it. So now I regret that I didn't do it. Or if
Right.
I ate too much and I regret eating too much, whatever it is, I want to navigate safely through these moments and not have regret or shame. And that one thing is really strong in me. And as long as I keep those things present in my mind, then I've been able to successfully have success on WW. But the biggest fruit of doing WW is when I started telling my story, and I started telling my story long before I opened this Instagram. A lot of it is on my personal Instagram at PW Singh, and a lot of those stories is just family stuff and that kind of stuff. But
Hmm.
when I started telling my story, I realized that Phil has value and Phil has something to share. And when people receive the gift that I give out with my words, that they're blessed. And that really helped me understand that I can do this. I'm not doing anything that is not sustainable.
Right.
So everything that I do, I want to always make sure it's sustainable. From going to the gym only 3 times a week, from going to the gym and only going for 30 minutes at a time. Just very knock it out, do hard things, but not do things that I didn't want to be a person that would go to the gym 6 times a week, because I can easily talk myself out of 4 of those a week. And now I'm only going 2 times a week. If I tell myself I'm only going 3, I can do 3. I did 2. Let's do 1 more. That kind of stuff. So it's engagement is what it is. I'm
Yes.
engaged very much in every aspect of my life. I know that now as Instagram grows, I need to be even more engaged in family time. So being intentional with that.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely a struggle to set down the phone and do that. And I always have
Oh,
to
yeah.
play with the
Yeah.
kid,
Mm-hmm.
talk to the wife, and that kind of stuff. I know I could always do better, and I say those things I should do better. But that's the biggest thing for me.
Yeah, and yeah, I agree 100% with what you said.
Yeah.
It just, I always wonder what keeps everybody grounded to Weight Watchers
Yeah.
and not who Weight Watchers. I mean WW.
Yeah.
I do it all the time too. I say
Yeah.
Weight Watchers and I'm like, oh,
Dup, dup.
dub dubs. But yeah, I always wonder what everybody's grounding to it towards. So thank you for answering that. I mean, that's the
Yeah.
best answer ever. So
Absolutely.
there you go.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for coming on. Thank you for
Thanks,
being
Phil.
standing in the gap. You
Yes.
really rose up. So I appreciate
Thanks.
you so much.
All
And
right.
thanks for everybody.